All right, fellas, it's been a minute. Our boy Jay up top here got married. He had to be handling the life, handling the business. All right. We're back here on the podcast
For sure.
talking a little bit about where we're going to be for the end of this year and for next year. Those of us who are making the playoffs, fighting for the playoffs, and unfortunately looking for the 2024 season. So, Jay, we're going to go through the bottom first, move our way up to the top. What do you got for us, brother?
Yes, sir. It's definitely been a minute and a lot has happened. Especially in this league, a lot has happened. So let's start off with the bottom half here. So everybody that is mathematically unable to make it. So we have Sean, Jack, Hangley, and Noah. So let's just start off from Sean. We definitely know his plan regardless from the start. He is a very rookie heavy young team. I was actually looking at this team a couple days ago, and I'm still kind of shocked it does not have any wins. Um, he definitely should probably update his starting roster here, but I know he definitely has been. So, not really too much of a worry there. But it's very interesting to see what Sean is going to be kind of like doing moving forward. He hasn't traded for any draft picks or anything, but I think he really does have a solid core. Justin Herbert is definitely a really good foundation. He needs a new quarterback in regards to a QB2 super flex type of deal there. But I'm definitely a huge fan of Jameer Gibbs, Zay Flowers, and JSN. Those are some good, solid pieces that he has to basically build around. Maybe Jonathan Mingo. I don't really know. I'm not really a Jonathan Mingo guy, but he's definitely been improving as the weeks kind of go on, but the Panthers are an absolute dumpster fire. But new head coach this week. New head coach this week. So I wonder if that's going to do anything for Bryce's development, honestly. So we shall see. What do you think about Sean here?
Yeah, I can see how he didn't get any wins. I think on top of being a 1 year punt, it looked like that was kind of the strategy from the get-go. He had a lot of young draft picks in the draft. And then he just kind of had some bad luck certain weeks. He's got, players that are putting up points. I mean, you could see it already from Thursday night football. He's got players that can make points happen and pretty consistently. Um, Sean and Kyle's team, not to jump ahead, but both young and promising, young and promising. Maybe next year, but maybe the year after is more realistic for
I would
like,
for sure say the year after.
yeah. And Sean's got all of his draft picks. So,
But if I'm Sean, being proactive about getting rid of some people, like, Zach Ertz, I know he's not on a team anymore, but he's looking to sign on to a contender. But
yeah,
I know
he'll
that's
find a team.
definitely, but back in the day, Jose, not to completely jump ahead, but Jose is looking for a tight end and
Yeah.
definitely needs one. So that would be kind of like an idea there. Some of these things didn't definitely pan out. Kadarius Toney, I don't really know if he's ever going to be anything. Tanks Bisbee is definitely a hold for now. See
Yeah,
what
there's people here that you hold because you don't really have the market value. So, like you said, Bigsby, Mingo, Tony, he has booty. Um, not
Booty.
that he did. He
Kayshawn
does.
Booty. The hype for Kayshawn Booty coming into like the pre-draft, like pre-combine was so high, and then it just all went downhill. It's actually kind of wild. I
He
don't
had a
know.
horrible combine. Well, a
Did
horrible combine on
yeah.
top of getting drafted by the Patriots is just not a good combination.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the Patriots are not a good team in that kind of
Yeah.
regard. But I agree with you. I think we're looking at like a 2025 2026 type of deal here. Najee is also definitely coming back to life. I don't know how he feels about Najee's like, you know, lifespan
You,
here, but that's
you hear
also
the foot
somebody that he could ship off as well.
you hear the footballers nickname for Najee?
What is it?
The footballer. So you know how they have Derrick Henry as the Yeti? Like he
Yeah.
just gets really good. So he's the baby Yeti. So like just in the second half of the year, he figures it out at least to become a relatively decent starter.
Yep, and he really has become a relatively decent starter. Like something that I've been monitoring also in my other leagues, in regards to like Najee Harris, because he's definitely doing it, and
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be interesting. Him and Jalen Warren, I even like for the Steelers today, um, it's going to be interesting to see how they move forward with everything, and they're a good playoff team. Aside, well, they are in the playoff hunt, so
Yeah.
should be interesting.
But, to the point, Sean has movable pieces. He has young pieces that he can stick to. There's a bright future here.
Potentially, potentially. All right, let's go to Jack. Jack, this team is so funny. He is so committed to not having any quarterbacks, and it's wild. It's something that I have never seen before. He is like okay with the punt. I will say Jack is definitely someone who I've been talking to, trying to gear his interest in some of his players, but he's holding strong. I think this is how he's going to finish his roster here. He has 3 first-round draft picks, which is cool.
Yeah.
He's really following you, his brother, in the draft pick mindset here. So I don't know if you're getting in his head or something, but he has 3 first-round draft picks in 24 and 2 and 25, and that's just for right now. He might even add some more.
Yeah. It's a
But
good move.
Jack definitely needs to do some things here. I would say like we have David Montgomery, Devin Singletary. Like I feel like he could have low key been a competing team if he just had some type of
Quarterbacks.
some type of quarterbacks here. AJ
His
Brown.
quarterbacks all died. They
Yeah.
just they just didn't they couldn't make it throughout the year.
Yeah, and Jimmy G, who knows what's gonna happen to Jimmy G? I think Jimmy G is like just done. I think he's just gonna be a backup, kind of like moving
Yeah,
forward for the rest
toast.
of his career, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
toast. That's
Danny,
unfortunate.
Daniel Jones, I don't really know.
He'll have another year, but
I
that's
really
about
think
it.
that was probably it as well. I would agree. Jahan
Well, at least
Dotson,
with the Giants, he'll have another year with the
yeah, yeah, for
he'll
sure.
be a starting quarterback somewhere, but for his sake, you hope that he doesn't just become a bridge quarterback. I
Exactly.
mean, I'm a Giants
And he's
fan.
still young, right? 26? Yeah, 26.
Yeah, yeah. You just you hope he doesn't become the Jimmy Garoppolo. You hope he doesn't become the Derek Carr. I mean, Derek Carr stayed with the Raiders for a decent amount of time, but maybe he's not the best example. But I don't know. I had such faith, like just maybe not faith, but hope for Daniel Jones.
Why
And
not?
I think
Great
this year
season last
was the
season.
year. This
What
year
do you
was the year that I had to just say, all right, we got to move on.
Daniel Jones, QB9 of last season. Obviously, you look at the yards over 3,000. That's like okay, but I think honestly for quarterbacks in like this age, we're looking more for that 35 range, honestly. But I mean, he was
Well,
almost there. Almost
yeah, I
there.
mean, if you're only producing 3,000, then you better be a runner, and
You better
that's
be
the
a runner,
reason
and
he
he
got
is.
away.
And he
Yeah, the
is.
reason he got away with the QB9 last year is because of the running. And
Yep.
this year, you can't run when you're broken. So
Only 15 passing touchdowns though. Like that's pretty ugly. The last time he surpassed 20 throwing touchdowns was his rookie year with 24. Like that's a trend that we want to see consistently. You
yeah,
want to be seeing the 20s with touchdowns. If not, that's just not sustainable. You're
if
just
Jack can get to a place, if Jack can get to a place where Daniel Jones is his third quarterback, then you hold Daniel
and he
and
potentially could be. So
yeah, you,
he has your pick, so that's kind of like a little late one. Frankie's kind of in the middle and he has his own. So like he kind of has early, middle, late kind of right
right
now,
now, yeah, right now he has the capital to secure 2 quarterbacks in the draft.
for
He
sure.
also has the players though. I mean, he knows he's not competing. He really should be trading Devin Singletary. He should be trading David Montgomery. He should be trading Calvin Ridley.
Wow, you
Um,
should tell him that. You should tell him that. Mm.
I I would be a liar if I said I haven't already.
Wow. Well, he's obviously so full disclosure here. Me and Jack have been having conversations about 3 of those individuals, but he's holding steady.
Yeah. I he
So
Jack, I believe this is my interpretation. He understands how important the rebuild is, but he doesn't want to submerge himself into the rebuild. He just kind of wants to dip his toe into the kitty end. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's just
it's tough. It's tough to like. It really is tough mentally. You're just like, dang, like I'm really like punting for a couple years, and like you have to be like okay with that. But like you really do need to be okay with that. It's
yeah.
just It's
Well,
you.
here's the thing too, is like,
Not everybody can do it.
yeah, if Daniel can be a middling quarterback next year and not be injured, he could be your QB2 at worst. You draft a quarterback, you potentially draft two more skill positions, and you keep a player like AJ Brown, you keep Njoku, you keep Dotson. I'm pretty sure his bench has a couple of, flex worthy players. Um,
Yeah, Allen Robinson and Juju Smith-Schuster.
you got Allen. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, if you look
Julio
at those
Jones,
things,
what a guy.
the truth is 2025 is realistic.
I think he's I,
2024,
I think he's got hope. I really do. I really
yeah,
think, not to keep like hampering on his roster, I really think the big thing here is just going to be this Calvin Ridley situation. He doesn't have a contract next year. Is he going to stay with the Jags? Maybe. I mean, the last 2 weeks he's definitely has been appearing on, to be trending as like, Trevor Lawrence's favorite target. Kirk has
yeah,
definitely been dying down a little bit, but it's just going to be interesting to see like what kind of contract Calvin Ridley is also going to want. Like, are the Jags going to want to give him that big contract? Because he's definitely going to be looking for it. He
yeah,
definitely thinks highly of himself. Not that like he's not a good player, but at this rate, he's so old. He's 20. He's going to be 29 by next season, and he's
yeah,
just going to be starting his second contract. And you know what they say with wide receivers starting in their second contract, it doesn't always really go well. The statistics add up that it typically is not the best if you go to a new team as well. And this
yeah.
is the second team, so I don't really know. I think that's
If
really going to be holding some weight. David
yeah,
Montgomery, is he still going to be used in this role next season? Gibbs has definitely been popping off the past couple of weeks. But they're definitely still holding the workload together. So
yeah. I
Jahan
think Kyle
Dotson,
and Jack, I think Kyle and Jack both have this like 24-hour window right now to, it's really not even 24 hours. It's like 13 hours. They have like a 13-hour
mm,
window because once the final game Sunday ends,
tomorrow.
is it tomorrow? I mean, wouldn't it?
So
Yeah, it would be 12. It'd
they
be
got like
12,
18 hours.
12:01, right? Tomorrow morning,
Uh,
12:01.
no,
Oh, Monday.
whenever the game ends on Monday, it's over.
Gotcha. So yeah, they got about, a little over 24 hours to, in my opinion, because they're both, I mean, what are the records right there, Jack and Kyle? Yeah, right. So Jack
Four
is
games.
only winning this battle for second overall pick because of his total points scored.
Yep.
So if I'm Jack and I'm Kyle, I'm, and we'll just transition into Kyle's team then. If I'm Jack and I'm Kyle, I'm trading away assets that are not helping me right now and next year to make sure that I get that 102.
Yeah, like you want to get, obviously this is a strategy talk, but you want to get these points out of your lineup. Like you don't want
Yeah,
these points. That's the point. And like I
yeah.
know we need to start like a full roster. And
Hmm.
so it's not pretty.
There's a difference before like our whole community goes crazy. There's a difference between trading away points and tanking
Yes, that is how you tank
properly.
legally.
Yeah,
Is just
legally
yeah.
within the rules.
You
So
get
you
you
have to
get the
have a
points off your
starting
roster.
roster.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to have a starting roster where everyone is able to score points, and you're going to want to trade away things that aren't going to help you. So again, for example, Montgomery's 26 years old. Yeah, he's got 4 years left in the league, but he's out of that prime running back window. So you trade him away, you lose the opportunity for his, potential 20-point random point scoring, 75-yard touchdown run, and you either get yourself more younger assets to build your bench or draft picks.
Yeah. I would say the pressure is more on Hangley to like do that, but I mean, I feel like
Because
Hangley,
Hangley's team has been scoring.
yeah,
Hangley's team has been
yeah,
winning.
he got the highest, he got the second highest 2 weeks ago, and I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it's
But you know
impressive.
why? Let's talk about him. CJ Stroud. Since our last podcast, I don't think we've been
Yeah,
talking about CJ Stroud at all. He has gone
yeah.
absolute bananas.
He's on a hunt right now. He's
It's
man.
incredible. I'm so about the hype. I wish I acquired him anywhere. In my other dynasty league, in that draft, he went like 108, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, what are we doing? It is
Yep,
so
we all did it.
It's crazy everywhere. And it's nuts how you could really like the media really got in everyone's head about this guy. And he got
Yeah,
drafted. He got drafted to 102. And everyone's
yeah,
just like, oh, he sucks. Are you kidding me? What are we doing? What are we
yeah.
doing? That's just bad. That is bad process right there. Like that is not good. Need to figure it out. Not good for the mindset. Definitely been beating myself up about that, and especially just like all the other draft stuff. But that's more my stuff. But CJ Stroud is a stud, man. He looks amazing out there. He is a leader. He knows how to play the quarterback position. He is not afraid to make mistakes. Like he slings it. It's awesome. He's an exciting player to watch. Obviously he's only a pure passer. He's not giving you that rushing upside, but which obviously limits his ceiling, but his ceiling is incredible. If you're throwing for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns every single game, that is all you need. Look at this 300, 300, 300, 400. That is absolutely berserk. I just can't even believe it. I
I have a bold take here.
let's hear this bold take.
I value the pocket passer more than the mobile quarterback.
Interesting. Yeah, but there comes to a range where you can't do that though. Like I'm saying,
You mean
once
like
you can
range of
pass,
caliber? You mean range of caliber of quarterback? Is that what you mean?
yeah, like so, like I'm saying, you need if you're gonna have a pocket passer and quarterback for fantasy wise, you need to be throwing in the high 200s and the 300s to be keeping
You also need to know your scoring format.
for passing touchdowns
So
and
we are 6 point passing and rushing touchdown. So passing, in my opinion, passing touchdown specifically for this league is more important than rushing.
well,
The only benefit of a rushing quarterback in a league formatted like this or your own is the literal rushing yards. So instead of saying,
yeah,
oh, I get 2 more points per rushing touchdown, really what you should say is, does my quarterback average at least 40 yards? Because that's an extra 4 points that you wouldn't have had. If he's only averaging 10, 20, 30 yards, yeah, you could say thank you for the points, but any pocket patcher can do that on a given scramble.
yeah,
So
so
really what you're looking
you
for is a team with designed runner. You're looking for that Lamar Jackson, right? You're looking for someone
exactly.
who's designing runs like Josh Allen as well. The designed runs in the middle of the game. You know Josh Allen and Lamar are both getting somewhere between 5 and 10 designed runs in a game. So for me, I even stay consistent to this in a 4 point passing touchdown league, to be honest. And that is a whole different philosophy though. But if you're in a 4 point passing touchdown, 6 point rushing touchdown, I still value pocket passers more. And my current strategy is to have two reliable pocket passers. And then as you have that stability, you then can draft or trade into that high upside running quarterback. If you have one runner and two pocket passers, you have the security of the pocket passer because of health and consistency. And then, granted, the health of the runner, you throw the runner in the lineup, when you need those spike weeks. And that's just where I'm currently at in my dynasty philosophy at quarterback.
I would say, but you gain more yards as a rushing quarterback than like a passing quarterback yard wise, and that's
Well,
something that you definitely
yeah,
have to be thinking
only
about.
in my opinion, like statistically different, only in a 4 versus 6 pass to rushing touchdown league. Your
No,
league
I mean,
and
I mean, not even like don't think about the touchdowns, but like so you gain 1 point per 10 yards for
yeah,
rushing, and then
yep.
for passing, well, I don't know what this league. It's probably like 20 to 25.
Yeah, it's
Um,
0.25. Yep.
um,
A
so but
quarter of a
that's something
point.
to think about, like you need to get more passing yards than rushing yards.
Now ask yourself this question.
I'm asking.
You have a quarterback who throws for 200 to 250 yards. And he's considered a rushing quarterback. But on a given game, he only gets 40 to 45 rushing yards.
That's fine.
In my mind, that's not enough. You got
Why?
to
That's
have
like that's like
50.
that's like maybe like Dak Prescott. Like what does he do? 23, 10, 6, 17, throwing for 300, 331. Wow, he's kind of like a
So
bad
he's a
example.
pocket passer
He's
right now.
been he's been going crazy. It's not a good
He's a
example.
pocket passer right now. He used to be more of a runner, but he's a pocket passer now.
Let's go to Patrick Mahomes, who's having like a little bit of a yeah, like this is a good example. He hasn't really been going too crazy this season, but he keeps it up, you know? Like if he didn't have this that's the week
Now,
before
ready?
2 points, two
Here's the
points, two
here's the
points, two
difference.
points, 3 points, 5 points. Like those 2 to 3 points, they add up a little bit.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Ready? Are you drafting Patrick Mahomes as a runner, or are you drafting him as a pocket passer?
You're drafting him as a pocket passer for sure. Not a runner
So,
at all.
so my point is, instead of instead of highlighting, you know, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, uh, Jackson, Lamar Jackson, instead of saying let's put them at a premium, let's just get guys who have really good, consistent pocket passer numbers, and then benefit from them when they scramble, because that's what Patrick Mahomes is doing.
Yeah, but we love the big plays too. Like Lamar can just rip it. Well, Jalen Hurts can just rip it. Josh
Listen,
Allen can just rip it.
I don't disagree that they have value.
The
That's not what
upside,
I'm just saying,
they have a higher
how many
ceiling.
times has Lamar Jackson been hurt?
A
Josh
lot.
Allen has not gotten there yet, and we're lucky. He's lucky. He's had a couple injuries here, there, Nixon bumps, but like these rushing quarterbacks just don't survive consistently. Yeah,
That's
they give you
interesting.
the high
So
upside.
you have Jalen Hurts though. Is he on the block?
I have Jalen Hurts. Is he on the block? No, because he's my absolute dude. If he was my third quarterback, I might see what people might want for him. So on my team, I have Hurts and in this league, what do I have? Hurts and Murray,
Hurts, Murray, yeah,
Hurts, Murray, and Pickett. So I
and
did have Hurts, Murray, Pickett, Purdy. Think about that. You got a pocket passer in Purdy. You got a pocket passer who can kind of run in Pickett. You have a dual threat in Kyler. You have a dual threat in Hurts. So I was secure. I had the safety to trade away the quarterback. That's exactly the strategy I'm talking about. I had two pocket passers. If you don't feel like you're getting it done with the two pocket passers, put the runner into the lineup. Hopefully he doesn't get injured. He didn't get injured. Traded away one of my quarterbacks for assets.
there you go. There it is. QB 101.
Process.
Um, uh,
Back to topic.
back to Hangley's here. Back to Hangley's here. CJ Stroud is keeping him up. Rashad White and Ramondre Stevenson's starting to be on the come up. I think the last like 2 3 weeks he's been like in his like yeah last
Yep.
3 weeks 20-point games 13. So he's definitely trending in the correct direction. He's probably going to be starting for this team next season. To be honest, Rashad White maybe the same thing. Honestly, he's also been getting like the crazy volume. Look at this. That's just incredible. Good stuff right
Good.
there.
Yeah, good for him. He's got more competition in Tampa Bay than Stevenson does in New England. But New England's always drafting running backs. But Rashad White is for me a big surprise of this season. I thought he was going to get overtaken by his competition. Keyshawn Vaughn gets hurt, and Tucker I thought was going to just take over the role mid-season. He didn't. Maybe he's not as good as we thought he was, or maybe the team is just trusting that the veteran's doing well. You just don't know. You're not in the building.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I thought Sean Tucker was definitely gonna creep in somewhat because Keyshawn Vaughn has been pretty irrelevant since he's been drafted. And he got drafted like 3 4 years ago.
Yeah, he's.
I think he's
I
pretty
mean,
good.
I'd be surprised if Tucker's not above Vaughn, but Vaughn got
Yeah,
injured too, so it's like he's
he's
going to
toast.
be
See you later.
a running back room guy.
Um, uh, really, the bad point here, it really is just like his wide receiver room. Zay Jones, Curtis Samuel, Rashi Rice is probably his best one. Speaking
Yeah.
right now, if I'm Hangley, I'm trying to ship Brandon Cooks ASAP.
How old is Douglas? Is he a rookie?
He is a rookie. Look at him.
Yeah, so he's got like two flex worthy rookies that maybe develop. His issue is that Brandon Cooks has been going off, and that's been scoring him points, putting him in the opposite direction of where he wants to go. He's got all of his picks for 24. He's got an extra pick in 25,
Yeah.
two extra picks in 25. He's like Jack, he's not in a bad
He
spot,
has
but he
Quentin
has
Johnson.
pieces he can move.
Quentin
Yeah, I mean
Johnson.
Quentin Johnson is such a polarization right now. I mean, I try not to talk poorly on wide receivers until like the third year, because it depends on team, it depends on coaching staff. individual development. I mean, I also saw DJ Moore and Jacoby Myers there. I am in love with Jacoby Myers. If there's a quarterback on the Raiders, Jacoby Myers is a flex target for me every year, as long as he's getting targets.
You see him last week? Boom.
I
20
know.
points.
I know. I just,
First week that Aiden O'Connell like actually looked like a capable quarterback, and he showed up.
yeah. Jacoby Myers is a very talented wide receiver who has never gotten the credit because he's been shadowed by the Patriots' crappy passing scheme since Tom Brady's left. And this year he's been an absolute stud in the NFL and in fantasy. And then you just, get that whole quarterback debacle in the Raiders organization right now. But if O'Connell can be a competent quarterback, just average, then both wide receivers should benefit in the Raiders camp from that.
For sure. But more Jacoby Myers because Devontae
Yeah.
Adams, I don't really know what he's doing.
So like you look at Kyle's team and you say Zay
You're right.
Jones, okay,
With the
he's not the
DJ,
guy, but when he's in, he scores points. You see Curtis Samuel, he's not the guy, but when he's not injured, he scores points. So Kyle's been sneakishly winning games off of these random burst weeks when he might not really want to be winning those games.
yeah, I would definitely just want to touch on DJ Moore for a second too. I know you just kind of talked about Jacoby Myers, but DJ Moore has been pretty excellent this season. He's definitely
He
been
needs
someone
yeah,
that's been
he
slept on. Like
yeah,
look
he
at
is a QB1 or a wide receiver one. He
he
is. He
is
is a wide
for the
receiver
first
one.
time in his career, he actually passed that threshold. He's
Yeah.
always talked about it, and it's finally happened. Justin Fields definitely looks his way most of the time. I think they have a good connection there, but I just think DJ Moore is just QB proof. I think he's just going to do that for anybody. So,
Yeah.
I think it's definitely. I feel like DJ Moore is probably a hold unless like you're kind of worried about the Bears QB situation. Like, is Justin Fields going to be starting there next season? Doesn't matter if Justin Fields is starting there next season. Realistically, it's really besides what CJ Stroud's doing this season. Rookie quarterbacks never sustain a wide receiver in one, so something
Yeah.
to kind of think about there statistically. So
Very,
yeah,
very, very rare. You're right. You're right. What is his quarterback two situation?
quarterback two, he has Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah, he's chilling. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kyle is going to be a very different team next year.
for sure.
Kyle will be above the middle of the pack competitor next year.
For
I'm
sure.
very
Especially
confident about that.
if he drafts good too. If he gets some worthy out of that first, second, and third, it's he's gonna be okay. Next is gonna be Noah. Noah is definitely an interesting team. He lost Joe Burrow, and honestly, it's kind of just been down from there. But you really do look at his like flexes here. Khalif Raymond, Kareem Hunt, George Pickens is okay, but like you see the Khalif Raymond and Kareem Hunt, and you just know things are kind of just going downhill from there. He definitely just needs a lot of assistance. This is a bad week for him.
Yeah. Yeah,
To
with the
lose
buys, yeah.
with the buys, James Cook, Gabe Davis, Jordan Addison. But I mean, realistically, I guess he wasn't making the playoffs anyways because
Well, did you check out his forced points? Check out his forced points, Jay.
damn number 4. He
He's
got
just that guy.
he got the
Every year
bad
it happens to
he
somebody.
got he got the bad draw.
Yeah, every
Well,
year it
I guess
happens to
not.
somebody.
Look at that. I'm
I
second.
know.
I'm second. That's crazy. You all
Yeah.
stink. Um,
It
uh,
all happens. It always happens to somebody. It's happening to two people
look,
right here.
maybe Jose is actually a fraud because he has the lowest points against. So maybe he actually isn't good.
No, no, he's not a fraud. Look at his points forced. He's the only one in the 2000s threshold.
No, I'm gonna go with he's a fraud. I think that's what I'm gonna go.
All right, well, here's the deal. I'm going to do a little spoiler for Noah. Noah, rough season. You got the bad draw. Teams beat you when they weren't supposed to beat you. You scored a bunch of points. You're going to be all right next year. Develop some depth. Depth is going to be important for you. But here's the thing. Noah's going to win most points scored without making the playoffs. So that's $40. And he's going to win um, most points in a single game. I'm pretty sure he had like 230 points one week.
We could check.
So he won his money back. He won his money back.
Where do we go for this?
Oh, I
Lee.
have no idea for most total points. I've never even looked for that, but I just know I kept track of it each week. who did that.
It
And I'm
it
pretty sure
shows.
Noah had a 230.
There you
There it
go.
is.
Yeah, 237,
237.
226. He has two of the. Yeah,
The two highest point totals. So it's our league fees. His buy-in is met. So though this year, in all reality, because he's going to get a better draft pick, if you're not going to win the league, I think this is the best case scenario. And he's going to go into the playoff, the loser bracket playoff, and if he wins that, he'll get the extra third round pick.
which he probably has like the most, I guess, chance to. Uh,
Yeah,
you know, I will say, I would say obviously I would. Jalen Waddle is definitely having like a down season. I think everyone kind of expected a little
he'll
bit
bounce
more from
back.
him overall.
He'll bounce back.
Exactly, and I think he will bounce back for sure.
Yeah. If I'm
Uh,
Noah, I'm getting rid of Hopkins. I mean, you got 24 hours to get rid of Hopkins. You got 24 hours to scratch the dirt for something for Kareem Hunt. Um, scratch the dirt for Zach Moss. Um, if I had to look at his bench, uh,
that's
I
really it.
mean, Gabe
That's
Davis.
mm, that's
I
very
mean,
true.
he's got good names. I like his team a lot. Well, who's his QB two?
Joe Burrow.
Oh, it's Burrow. Yeah, he's got a good team. All of us should be worried because
I think he's lost.
Kyle,
He's lost a lot in a row.
yeah,
Or since
Kyle,
nope.
Sean, yeah, Kyle, Sean, and Noah are gonna be good next year. They're gonna be a lot better than they are this year. These are all things that are going to happen.
All right. Cool. We're moving on here. All right, now we're gonna kind of go to this middle of the pack here. Starting off with Frankie's team. So Frankie's team is one that I am actually concerned about, to be honest. He needs pieces, but he doesn't have any draft picks at all. So he's gonna have to break some things apart here to really get some people. Like he has a third next year, and that is literally it. He has a second
Yeah,
in 2025, and that is literally it. Like for someone whose roster, like, you look at this and it's definitely not like the worst roster in the world. Like you're like, okay, they're probably competing. The worst part
yeah,
of this is just that he doesn't have a quarterback too. Like he literally just does not have one. Who are you going to start? Joshua Dobbs is obviously kind of like holding him up, but that's not sustainable, and he needs to. I'm worried about him, and I think he's gonna be in this middling tier for quite some time if he doesn't make a big splash. I know he's a
Does he
big.
have a hopeful young tight end somewhere under Kelsey?
I don't think so. Cade Otton.
Yeah, that's not horrible.
It is definitely not horrible.
I
Martavius
if I'm
Bryant.
if
I didn't know
I'm
he was in the league still. What is he
yeah,
doing
if I'm Frankie, I got to figure out what people are going to pay for Kelsey because the
today?
rest of
Today.
yeah,
Today.
today
Frankie, you
because
better you better be listening to this today.
I guess he's also been talking to Frank.
No, I don't want a tight end. I don't want a tight end. I'm good.
Because there's good names on this team. There's not enough depth. And yeah, next year you're going to get Aaron Rodgers back, which is great if he is still Aaron Rodgers. Um, but if he's not, then you just really set up a bad 2024, 2025, 2026. Because
Yeah,
your team's only going to keep getting older and you don't have the QB power to win it.
I would say probably the person that's going to give him the most, like, I don't even know. Like, I would even offship Debo at this point. See if someone out there is going to give you a first. I don't know, or maybe get a wide
Yeah,
receiver
Debo's
and
a
even
good
a
name
pick,
too. I would probably get rid of Debo. That's a good name. Yeah,
Uh,
Debo's a good name. Yeah.
I don't know. He's got some work. Like once again, I like this team. Like you look
Yeah.
at this, and if Elijah Moore was somebody that was like
A
I don't
quarterback.
know, even like a Sam Howell, like a Kyler Murray type of thing, like I'd be like, okay, like this guy's making
Yeah.
damage, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I don't know who has his first, but whoever has his first, good for you.
Nice.
Good for you.
It's probably
Um,
Ben.
yeah, probably maybe, but I know we kind of like breeze past this, but he also traded for Garrett Wilson. That's who has it. I think Hangley has. No, Hangley got his 2025.
Yeah,
He
it's
also
either
picked up
Jack or
Garrett
Ben.
Wilson. Yeah, maybe. But he also has Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson obviously also hasn't been the best. Brees Hall hasn't been the best. He's a big Jets homer, so those are some good also pieces. Like if you want to get away from the Jets, those are some good pieces to sell off for something. So I don't know. We shall see. Definitely an interesting team, and like I like the starting roster. I'm just very worried about your future, and maybe trade some things.
Yeah,
All right.
you don't. Neither one of us think you have enough firepower to do it next year. So you got to find a way to have firepower to do it next year, or it's time to rebuild because you
And
don't have
you gotta
enough
get that
future.
capital. All right. Next, we're gonna go to his brother, Mike. So for Mike here, also a pretty decently looking team. Um, I will say he does have the draft capital. He
Hmm.
decided to keep that one, so he's doing it for the family there. So he got the hookup this week. Thursday night already happened. Geno Smith went off, so he's getting the hookup, and this is exactly what he needs for that playoff push. Who's he facing here? Ooh, a big matchup versus Ben.
That is a big matchup.
That's spicy. That's going to be a good one right there.
It's
Uh,
important.
and it's super important. So, but yeah, I mean, Bijan Robinson has been picking it up. Chuba Hubbard has been someone who you are good with your running back too. He's been a lot more productive than Miles Sanders for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's put up a 20-point game, so you love to see that. Amon-Ra St. Brown, absolute stud. Christian Kirk is definitely dying out a little bit, very similar to last season as well. So, but he's definitely Trevor Lawrence's slot guy. He gets the receptions, the yards. It's just always about the touchdowns. That's always his thing. Similar to actually, Evan Ingram's definitely been having a down season. I don't think he's being used as much as previous. Wow, he doesn't have a touchdown all season. That's pretty sad.
Well, Evan Ingram's actually his tight end too, so he's got Hawk.
Oh, does he have Hawk? He does have Hawk, so that's good.
Yeah,
All right, so
yeah. He
slide Hawk
also
there.
has Walker under Chuba.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker because he got hurt, and he has Miles Sanders.
Yeah, if Mikey sneaks his way in, he will be dangerous because these T Higgins is another name where like okay, he's gonna come back and probably be productive.
Is he
Walker's
with
gonna
with no Burrow?
I think so. I think it's just impossible for that team to not target T Higgins. I mean, how about this? He'll be flex worthy every
Okay.
week. And that's what you need. You need depth. I think when you look at Frankie and Mike's team, we both agree that they have awesome names, but do you have the depth to make it all the way? I think Mikey is a little bit deeper than Frank, but he's just unfortunately been dealing with injuries right now. So it's like, it's at this point, it's a flip of a coin. And his matchup this week, it, it's a must win. It's a must win. So
Yeah,
eh,
it is
I'm
about
not sorry, Frank. If you lose, I'm not upset because your team's only going to get better from here on out because you're unhealthy at the
who's
moment.
he facing next? And he has my brother next week. So I mean, sheesh, that's definitely interesting two matchups. Those are some good matchups right there to have.
Yeah,
But
that's a tough end of the year schedule. I
I
mean,
would say, Taysom Hill has definitely been hooking him up. He kind of came back from the dead, but honestly, Taysom Hill always just comes back from the dead every season. Where it's
he's
like,
going to have his
you know,
random
yes, that's
MVP
just
moments.
what
Yeah,
he does. But they definitely have been using him a lot. Like
yeah,
I've been catching some Saints games. I don't know why I'm watching Saints games like that, but they really do put the ball in his hands. So,
yeah. They paid
um,
him a crap ton of money for someone who doesn't actually have a football position.
yeah, he is. It's actually insane that he is still versatile. Like
The guy's living the dream.
he is. He
He
is.
plays like 20 snaps an entire game. Everyone loves him for fantasy because he just has these random moments. And he doesn't get hit like a quarterback. He doesn't get hit like a running back. He barely gets hit like a wide receiver. It's the guy's living the best life.
Yeah, he's actually my starting tight end in one of my leagues. So shout
He's
out
the
to Taysom Hill.
ultimate Swiss Army knife, this guy.
All I really do want to talk about some T. Higgins here. I know you kind of touched on him briefly, but it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. I don't think he's going to be on the Bengals next season at all. Like,
He,
I think
I don't
there's
think financially I think it would
0%
devastate them
chance.
financially. It
Yeah,
would
it's not.
devastate them financially. Yeah, it would
Yeah, it's
devastate them.
not. It's not happening. So it's going to be
Yeah,
interesting to see where he goes. Like, I know a lot of people have been talking about like early in the season, like, wow, he's going to go to the Texans, but Texans kind of have Tank Dell there. So like, I mean, not that he can't go because now Tank Dell's there, but they play two different complete like positions in that type of way. Well, they
it
play
would
six.
depend on. Yeah, I haven't looked into it, but it would depend on the cap hit for Houston. I don't know how much cap they have. I don't know where their money is, but
I have no idea.
he wouldn't be bad at Houston.
It'd be
But you're
cool.
right. Houston's process is working. They've got young talent, so if you don't want to disturb that by bringing in too much veteran. I mean, if you're going to bring in veterans, it should be at the positions that are going to support your young guys. So like
Yeah, for
offensive
sure.
line.
For sure, for sure. It's they're making some moves there. It's gonna be interesting to see that. But I agree with you. I think, you put Hawk into this, you put Kenneth Walker into this. Um I really that was it, right? Correct.
Yeah,
Like this is a sneaky good team.
yeah,
Someone that you don't want to see in that kind of case there.
yeah.
All right, let's get to his matchup. Ben. Um we're all just waiting on the return for Justin Jefferson at this point. I think that's also what he's waiting for. Ben's kind of been held alive. You got Jamar Chase, who was going bananas when Joe Burrow and the Bengals kind of figured it out, but now that's kind of done because Joe Burrow is out for the season, unfortunately. But even like last week, I think he scored a touchdown last week, so no, he did not. But still, 4 for 81 is pretty decent. If that's something that you can kind of continue, and Jamar Chase can be like a wide receiver too, kind of point wise, I think that's going to assist Ben, especially if when Justin Jefferson comes back next week. That's definitely a good combo to have. The really big thing that I see here is just his flex. Those are some ugly names. A.T. Perry, Christian Watson starting to come back. Trey McBride has also been decent, but I think he's hurt. At least I didn't think he was going to play. There you go. Still expected to play.
Well, he is what he
Josh
was in
Jacobs.
concussion protocol or something like that.
I don't really know why he was hurt. I just know
I
he
think they dropped who the
hurts.
heck was that? Hurts. So it's like Ertz, them dropping Ertz tells me that Bride's gonna play.
Yeah. I thought he was. I don't know. I thought it was like something more serious. I don't really know why. I don't really have him anywhere, but
Yeah, I could be wrong with the concussion thing, but I'm whatever it is, I feel like I've heard
wow.
that he's on his way back sooner rather than later.
I forgot about this JT thing too. JT being out sucks. That sucks for him. JT was starting to come back to life. Like he was looking like
He's also getting obliterated by the devastating Week 13 bye.
yeah.
Jacobs.
Jacob. I think it's just Jacobs, J Jeff, and yeah, I really feel like that's probably it.
I mean, those are huge. I mean that's a
You
potential
know what
50
we
point
you know
combo
what we
right
weren't
there.
able to reflect on is this trade that Ben made with Jack. I'm kind of interested in what you feel about this. When I saw this, I was like, that is so interesting. And I don't think interesting in a good way, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
what
I don't pay that much for running backs.
I think even that's
Now and then when you make a playoff run, a running back is worth a first because you're going to try to go get that chip. Um, there's definitely an overpay here. And
I think it was a huge overpay. I feel like Jacobs and David Montgomery are basically like obviously Jacobs is a little bit better, but I feel like they're almost giving you similar value that you just traded a first and a third.
yeah,
So
I
Jack
love you, Ben.
Jack has Frankie's pick right there. You can see that
Yeah,
being traded. So yeah,
yeah.
Ben
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 has been
has
making
made
some.
some good
Yes,
Ben
I
has
was
made some
literally
good
just
moves in
gonna
this
say
league.
that. Yes,
This
Ben has
was the
been making
one.
good trades. This one is a questionable one. I
Yeah, this is the one
I think
that
he
that
got a
set you
little bit of
back a
too
little bit.
trade. Yeah, he got a little too trade happy. And
Yeah.
he hasn't traded since. So
Yeah,
maybe
two steps forward, one step back. I mean, you're still ahead of the game, but you hurt your progress there a wee bit.
it's going to be interesting what Bryce Young also does. He's obviously a hold. I actually had someone reach out to me in another league was like, "Do you want Bryce Young for a first?" Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? I literally don't want that at all at this point.
What I would take that 100%. What kind of first are we talking about?
You were gonna take that? I would rather roll on another quarterback.
So ready, the 106 or Bryce Young?
I want the 106.
Bryce Young.
You're crazy. We'll talk about that in 2024.
We will.
Everyone remember that. But
Who's
yeah,
the 106?
Spence, what?
Who's the 106?
I have no idea. I could not tell you at this time, but I'm telling you right now, they're probably gonna
For
have
me,
they're
just
gonna have
for
higher upside than Bryce Young. Bryce Young
that's
isn't
not that's
anything.
not true.
That is literally true.
No.
Yes.
The first overall draft pick. Who's all right, so ready? You have Wilson, bust, 102. Name the other
Wilson. Who's
full
Wilson
busts.
bust? Who's Wilson bust?
Zach Wilson, bust.
Wait, but
Who's the other 100% bust in the last 3, 4 years, 5 years as a quarterback? In the first 5 picks, first 3 picks. I can name one more.
first 3 picks. Trey Lance was the third pick.
There you go. That's the one I was gonna say. I could name one more. There's one more. I can name one more.
Baker Mayfield, maybe.
No, he still was fantasy fine for a good minute. It's Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was a 106. So those three are busts. But every other quarterback is going to get you back at least the first round draft pick.
But
I guarantee
why would you trade a first round draft pick for next season when you can draft an own quarterback of yourselves if you wanted to, instead of taking one that is going into his second year that just does not look the best?
so who's going to be better statistically? The rookie who got a year under his belt and now knows the system, or the rookie who just walked in?
Yes, I agree with you statistically wise, but I don't know the placement of this other quarterback. What if we have another
All
CJ
right.
Stroud
Did
situation?
you think CJ Stroud was going to be good at Houston?
Absolutely not. But exactly, why not? Why not take that chance? All right, so you want me to be okay with mediocrity with Bryce Young? Like, yeah, let me just
No.
take him
So
because
so the
106 is not.
realism of human beings is that we need time to figure it out.
Okay.
The very small chance, is that they already know it. So you have like Andrew Luck right now, CJ Stroud, years ago, Joe Burrow, like that's the small percentage. So yeah, flip a coin every now and then when you have extra draft picks, right?
Yeah.
So if you have extra draft picks, you flip a coin and yeah, maybe you get lucky, maybe not. But if you don't have extra draft picks and you got to be smart with the assets that you have, I am going to take the 101 overall pick, assuming that this was a learning year for him. They're
They're
going to
crazy.
build around him for the next
Because
4 years.
yeah,
He has four.
I'm not denying that, but
Who you taking?
you
Ready,
need to at
ready,
least
ready?
you gotta show me
Last
some
one, last
flashes.
one,
You gotta
last
show me
one. Who
some
you
flashes.
taking? Kenny Pickett or Bryce Young?
I'm taking Bryce Young.
Why?
Why? Because
Because
he's
he's got more upside than Kenny Pickett because you don't know yet.
correct and he's younger.
So
He's got more contract life than Kenny Pickett.
exactly. So Kenny was the same position as this last year, Bryce Young. He didn't do so hot as a rookie. He's got a decent team around him. Let's see if he progresses. He didn't. Okay, so it's the same. It's the exact same gamble as the 106. So I'm going to take the guy who's in the league, who knows the game a little bit more, than risking it on the brand new guy who might end up being, again, Bryce Young his rookie year or Kenny Pickett his rookie year. That's just me. That's just me.
Interesting.
Bryce was a Heisman Trophy winner, a lot better than Kenny Pickett.
That's okay. There's people that won the Heisman Trophy that are not the best. So that's statistics right there. But anyways, back to Ben's team here. Let's dissect this little beast a little bit more. Adam Thielen, Bryce Young's wide receiver. He's also kind of been dying out. Not producing the numbers as he did in the beginning of the season, which definitely helped Ben's team overall. So something I'm sure he's not happy about. Kyle Pitts is doing Kyle Pitts things. Tight end at number 18. Just absolutely disgusting. It is so
It's
gross.
it's the staff's fault. It's the coaching
Yeah,
staff.
I'm not saying it's Kyle Pitts' fault.
Are they
Not
are they
pinning that
gonna
on him.
make it to the playoffs? Let me look at that real quick. You
The
keep
Falcons
going.
are leading the division. Yes.
Oh my gosh, this guy. This guy.
So
Arthur Smith is so frustrating. All right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
It's just
Ben's Achilles heels are quarterbacks and tight ends. That's his Achilles heel right now. He's got just enough firepower at running back when it's not a bye week. He's got just enough power at wide receiver when it's not a bye week. But the real question is, are you going to end up being this middling guy? You know,
well,
third
he has
overall.
draft picks. No, he traded that. He
He
traded that
traded him.
first for freaking Josh Jacobs.
He
What are we
traded him.
doing?
The process was sound, and then you took the 2 steps backwards. Listen, Ben has names. He's got a decent amount of names. He's got a, in my opinion, he does have enough depth to do what needs to be done. Here's the question though: how long will this survive? How long can we maintain this really high power running back wide receiver room with not having a proper tight end, with not having proper quarterbacks? So you want to get you don't want to put yourself in a position where you are between third overall and sixth overall every single year.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't want to be in that box. You either want to be at the top competing one or two a majority of years so that you can at least win your money back, or you want to be at the bottom so you can rebuild the team so you can eventually get back to the top. The worst place is to be stuck in the middle. And that's where I was in your league for 2 years. I was stuck right in the middle. And I was like, all right, it just has to go. I had to have to dump the whole team to rebuild for the future.
Yeah.
And now it's looking semi promising for next year and the year after. But if Ben makes the run, hits the playoffs, team gets healthy, and wins it, good for him.
That would be very interesting to see.
I
He's
just don't, I
he's
don't,
got to make the playoffs first.
yeah.
Big matchup. Who's he facing next week is the real question. Oh, he's got a
Yeah.
free win. That's crazy.
Does he
That
have Mikey with the points? Does he have Mikey with the points?
does he have Mikey with the points? Less than 100, so probably.
Mikey.
That's
So
that's
if
sick.
Mikey blows him out this week and then has another big win next week and they tie, Mikey could still win off of points alone with the via the tiebreaker. But yeah, Ben technically has the edge right now because next week he's playing one of those teams that are tanking.
Oh, free wins. Literally a free win. That is the most free you can get. Jack is the worst team in the league because of his quarterback situation.
Yeah.
I would rather face Jack than Sean, even though Sean
Yep.
has 0 wins.
Yep.
All right. Let's that's Ben's team in a nutshell. Good luck, Ben. I think you will definitely probably need it.
Jay
Um,
really cares about you, Ben.
all right, let's move on to my team. Um, yeah, I'm just surprised we're here. I just don't really know what's going on. I
Aren't you
this is
glad to
what
be here?
this is
Wasn't
what
sure I was gonna get the invite.
I just like don't really know how this is possible. I guess I should have like not have tanked and like maybe went for it. I don't really know. Um, but yeah, like this team is just like not really the best. Like we're very much surviving on CD Lamb and Josh Allen's back at this point. Like this, I literally played a player that got 0 points this week. Like that's ridiculous.
Well, the reason you're probably here and some people aren't is because you have three competent quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks.
How important are quarterbacks, Jason?
I don't know. I have Anthony Richardson for next season, so I'm ready. I'm
You,
loading
you've
up.
got four. You've got four above average quarterbacks. In fact, you have three. What top 10? Where's Russ? Oh, Russ is 14. You have two top 10, one top 15, and who was a top what 6 quarterback before his injury.
Yeah. Well, I got him after his injury, so I don't know if that really counts
Well,
in
I'm
my
just saying his statistics, right? He was QB4,
yeah.
QB19, and QB2 before his injury. So that averages to be about QB10.
I also
right?
added my boy Dalton Kincaid into the mix. Real happy about that for that Josh Allen Kincaid mix for the future. So that was one of my
So
plans,
frustrating.
and I got it, and I'm very happy
Oh,
about
you
it.
got it. You got
Yeah,
it, Jay.
I got
Yeah.
it. I got it for sure.
Freaking,
So
freaking bum.
I don't know, like I think I'm gonna make the playoffs, but like I don't know, I'm not like happy about it, but
But what's your who you play this week?
I'm facing Noah, and obviously when you see the CD Lamb DK like points, like it's looking like a dub. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what this team, the only way this team is gonna really like ruin someone's life in the playoffs is I need Devon Achan to like go off. I need him to come back and do his thing because I don't really have another starting running back. I've been shopping for a cheap running back this week, but I don't no one's really biting to be honest. So if anyone
Yeah.
wants to sell a cheap running back, send them my way. Because I'm trying to compete without completely blowing my draft capital here. Like I really am in like this rebuild mode.
And you should.
It
You
sucks.
should do that because you don't have enough depth to really
Exactly. But I
to
don't want to
jump.
I would rather much keep my two first and my 2 seconds and call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
I like your team. I think make sure you hold on to those first rounders. Make sure you do your best to hold on to those second rounders.
my
And
team is
four,
gonna be building around Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson and
yeah,
CD Lamb.
yeah,
That is the future.
yeah. I mean, you have both assets that people need, aka quarterback, and you have two first, 2 seconds to add somewhere between 4 and 6 um players to get the proper depth that this team needs.
Yep. That's exactly
Yeah,
the plan. That's the plan.
it's
But
good. It's
you
good.
always think like what if I kept Tony Pollard? What if I kept Stevenson?
What'd
I'm
you
gonna
get for Tony? A first? Did you get a first for Tony?
no. I just got Anthony Richardson and I gave away Pollard in the third.
Oh, I mean that's a first. That's two firsts.
I,
Anthony Richardson is the value
hypothetically,
of two first rounders.
hypothetically, maybe. But he
Right.
was also
Anthony Richardson right now is worth two first rounders. He's worth a 2024 and a 2025.
for a tanking team, yes, and that's what I was doing. But once
Yeah.
again, we're here, 7-5, maybe gonna win this week, and I'm in fifth place. So we're probably gonna make the playoffs. My points, my points force is absolutely insane. Like, what are top three? Are you kidding me? I don't know.
Go 0-2. Go 0-2 and compete with Noah for the losers bracket.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but hopefully I do. I don't know who I have next week. Who I have next week? I have Jose. If I can take down Jose, that would be cool. I want to beat Jose just
You can
for
if you can make the god bleed.
yeah. That's what we're trying to do. Like it'd be cool to make the playoffs and make a run. I'm not really like banking on it too much, honestly. It's not something I'm like really excited about or anything. So I mean, if it happens, hey, that would be cool. Like I would have 2 first round picks. I would win a championship. Like that's dynasty superiority right
Dream.
there, and that's what you want.
Yeah, that's the dream.
So,
That's the
but
dream.
I really don't think it's gonna happen. I think Rondell Moore, cool. What has he been doing? I feel like he's been doing some things, kind of, sort of, not really. But Jerry Judy is someone I'm definitely trying to trade and upgrade with. But I think everybody also realized that he also sucks. So I can't at least sell him in that way.
Well, don't undervalue a second round pick. Like your brain is going to say Jerry Judy, the name, the name, the name. But like, didn't we all draft Jerry Judy at the end of the first? Didn't we all draft Jerry Judy at the beginning of the second? So it's like
Yeah,
you
he's
can find someone with the quote unquote promise of Jerry Judy in the second round.
yeah,
And
for sure.
this year with all these wide receiver prospects is probably the best year to try to do so.
Yeah, we shall see. But that's my team, and we're
Yeah.
more looking forward for next season and the
It's a
draft
good process. It's a good process team. It's a good
for sure.
process team.
Very, very happy where it kind of ended up. All right, next we have Pat's team. I am a big. I want Pat
Now,
to lose
where are we
so
at here,
bad.
Jay? We're in the bracket of you're in. You're definitely in.
No,
I mean,
Pat is still technically not in. Who's he faced this week? Who's he got? He's got Jose. So Pat's probably maybe
oh,
stacking up as a little L here. So
wow, you're not wrong. Okay,
yeah.
so I'm reading the room wrong. So though he's got so many points forced, he's still got a pretty hard schedule. Who's he got next week?
Noah, which Noah's not an easy team.
Not
So
an easy team. So he has a hard schedule with a probable loss this week, just because Jose is you can't assume that you're not gonna, can't
yeah,
assume that you're gonna beat Jose when he's
and
only
he's
lost twice.
and he's already up. So
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Patrick's still in the
yeah.
hunt because
So
there's a world where he loses two in a row.
for sure. I mean, and I'm not thinking objectively here because I want Patrick to lose. Because I have his draft picks. So the more Pat
Lose.
the more Pat loses, the happier I am. But I've definitely been looking. He's definitely one of the teams that I actually like pay attention to just because I have his draft picks. Um, you know, I really think he's struggling with this QB2 situation. Derek Carr is not someone you really want at the route there every week, and then he has Mac Jones. I think that's really hurting him. He
Where
obviously
did he always have those two? I thought he had another quarterback. Maybe not. He didn't trade a quarterback, right?
no, he's always had these quarterbacks.
Yeah, so he's always
Um,
kind of had that tough flex
he's
position.
definitely getting the injury bug as well, though. Like, obviously, I think he would much rather like losing Nick Chubb sucks, man. That's
Yeah, that's rough.
brutal. Aaron Jones has definitely been a shell of what he usually is.
Yeah,
And
that
now
was
he's also injured,
unfortunate.
so so he has Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs on the bench with a really big matchup against Jose. Like that's a pretty big L. Dalton Schultz also out for the count this week. People who have been producing for him. I know Devontae Adams obviously hasn't been the best, but like you still want Devontae Adams out there.
You
He's
just want him. Yeah, you just want him on the
yeah,
field.
like
Even if he's
he
a
could
flex, you just want him.
exactly, and that's a good flex to have. If Devontae Adams was in my
Yeah,
flex, I'd be pretty happy about it. So
yeah.
Cortland Sutton hasn't been terrible though. Big TD monsters for the past like 6 weeks. Derrick Henry, I think, is going to go absolutely ballistic today. So look out for that. Definitely scoring a touchdown. Put him in your touchdown parlays. Um, he has a chance. I think the biggest thing here is I own Austin Eckler in other league, and he's been extremely disappointing. He just hasn't been Austin Eckler. His efficiency metrics are also down according to the people out there. I haven't really looked too much into it, but apparently he just doesn't look good. And like you
Yeah,
can
he
tell
looks
also.
unhealthy. He
Yes,
looks
he does.
unhealthy.
Yeah, and you can even see it on the screen. He definitely does not look healthy.
Yeah,
He doesn't have his burst, which is very unfortunate. So I
yeah,
think that's definitely like dragging him down a little bit. Like Austin Eckler's got to be like your CMC type of guy, and if he's acting like a James Conner, like that's not something that you want.
yeah,
Um, but he has Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans. Mike Evans doing Mike Evans things, just absolutely holding your team up all the time.
yeah. What a dude.
Everybody just hates him, but it's wild. But
He's a dude.
Patrick's team is an interesting one. It's a dangerous one. You plug in Stephon Diggs and Devontae Adams into these like flex spots, like he's looking dangerous, but everybody's got to show up. That's the problem. People got to
Yeah,
show up for him, and he's got to be able to make that push. Great team on paper. He's obviously traded away a lot of his draft picks, so only has 3 and 4 next season. 3 and 2 fours next season, and then actually he has his bulk of his 25. So, um,
it's
I
not a
guess
horrible place. He. This is the difference between Patrick's team and a lot of the teams that are struggling without first rounders. He has assets that he can definitely get first rounders for. So, yes. So the only big worry, and there's two big worries on his team in my mind. It's James Conner and Austin Eckler. They are guys that will hold potentially. Right now, they're okay. Maybe next year they're okay, but in my mind, they're the two scariest pieces that will lose the most value from the end of this football year to the beginning of next football year.
for sure.
Um, but
That's
he's got to use them
not
because
even
he's
question.
competing. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got to use them because he's competing. Derrick Henry, as crazy as it sounds, I still think he's got another 2 years of football. It's crazy, but like I
which is
actually
actually
think that
insane.
it's true. Um, Aaron Jones is probably going to lose value, but Chubb is only going to gain value from here. He has assets where he can gain back first rounders if he wants to. He's
Yeah,
got two young guys in Kendra Miller and Jaden Reed that weren't wastes for the 2023 class. And if he likes Adams, he can keep him for to compete again next year. If he thinks Adams isn't going to progress, then he can probably trade Adams for a solid amount of draft capital.
Yep.
Diggs will still be good for him next year. He's got a lot. He's got
He
a lot.
does. He does have a lot. And I think that's so like you were literally just saying like what compared to people who don't have is like first like the media team that I think about is Frankie's team, who's like draft capital is just like awful. But like Jack has the pieces and he has a draft capital, and like that's kind of how you want to build this up. Like, I don't know. That's just I worry about my boy Frankie with his draft picks. All right.
Love you, Frank.
Now we're moving on to the teams who are probably most likely in. Even if they lose, it would be very hard for them to be out. I would say the really one that only really has like a really big kind of looking at points forced wise. I don't know. If you we're talking about you and my brother here, you guys just need one more win and you're in. That's it. So
Yeah,
you're
if
in.
if,
A
if
win and
either
you're
one
in.
of us,
Oh, and
yeah,
Mike's facing Jack, so that's an easy dub. So he's in.
yeah,
He's in for sure.
yeah. The only way that Mike or I would not be in is if all four 7-5 teams, um, win out, which is not possible, and if one of us lost once and then we're beaten out in the point forced tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's
And that can't be the case because Mikey is playing Ben. So we're
so
basically
you're
we're
in.
basically in.
Okay. There you go. There we have it. You're in.
Unless of some miracle double loss. If wait,
Or a
he
tie.
has Kyle, he's going against Kyle.
Who?
Mike? Oh no, Mike's going against Jack.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
going against
you're going
Kyle.
against
So there
Kyle.
is a world where Kyle has another freak game, scores 170 something points, and then I'm the one who misses the playoffs
Yeah, maybe.
with that crazy scenario that I just said. But highly unlikely.
Mike's in. That's all I have to say. Mike's in. So Mike's going
Which is
in.
what he wanted.
This is what he wanted. It is what he wanted. So hey, he traded for Tony Pollard and took him up. He got 17 points, and he would have gotten 0 if he didn't trade Anthony Richardson. So
Oh,
so
yeah.
I
Make
gotta
it sound
say,
like your trade was good. Make it sound like your trade was good. Go ahead.
hey, it was good for him at that time.
Unbelievable.
We talked about this weeks ago.
There was a
It's
time in
something.
your life where you said, I didn't want to be in the same league as my brother. And I said, why? And you're like, because I don't want to have to trade with him and make it awkward. And then you go and do that.
Whoa. I'm always happy to be in a league with my brother. I just feel bad sometimes trading, you know? I don't ever want to scam people.
Oh.
And realistically, I have to say this worked good with his team. It really did. Like what if he didn't have Tony Pollard? Like he would be struggling. What
Then he would
about
have tanked like he should have been,
no?
and he would have had more draft capital.
I think he made a decently mid decision here, but let's I was looking at my
What do
brother's
the
team.
kids what do the
Let's
kids say? What do
let's
the
let's
kids say these days? You're selling?
I don't know. But look at his look, he still has both of his first round draft picks. That's beautiful. That's something you want to see. You know, he didn't go completely bankrupt. You know, he traded for Justin Fields and Brock Purdy this season. So Mike has honestly done a pretty solid job. I have to say he's traded a lot of people, but he
A
also
lot.
received a lot of people back and kept assets. Like that's awesome. Like you would think if you're not looking at a roster and you said, "Oh, I traded for Brock Purdy and Justin Fields this season," you would have literally 0 first round draft picks. This guy has 2 for next season. That's incredible.
Yeah, he definitely made good moves in terms of replenishing the quarterback group that he lost because obviously he as you traded with him for Richardson. So I will give him credit for that. He's got names on the team that do score points, Saquon, Zeke, Gus, um, Hyatt is looking promising for next year. Josh Downs is definitely promising for next year and the remainder of this year.
For sure.
Um,
He's not a problem.
Goddard will come back eventually,
Yes, sir.
and he will be just fine. But he has the Muth in the meantime, who just came back awesomely after an injury.
Yes,
Zach
sir.
Charbonnet is a little scary.
He
Um,
just got hurt. I didn't even know he got hurt in the game. I
yeah,
don't know what the heck. When did that happen?
in his knee, right? Swelling in his knee
Yeah,
or
but
something
when
like
did
that.
that happen in the game?
I think he
Like,
just has a previous knee injury and it gets aggravated from time to time. I think Charbonnet is an excellent player, but like health plus the crowded backfield. Listen, I don't dislike Mike's team at all. I think it needs more firepower. Drake London can develop.
Mike has a lot of B players.
Yeah, yeah. Like Drake London can develop into that eventual A player. Michael Pittman with a better quarterback would be that A player. Chris Godwin has been that A player, but is no longer. Uh, It's a lot of really good depth, especially that you have 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah,
So
for
yeah,
sure.
I think next year you're going to look a lot better than this year. This year you are where you are, and you're trying to make a playoff run. So let's see what happens.
I will say he probably needs Chris Godwin and Javonte Williams to step it up, even Drake London, honestly, to really make a push here. So I don't know. We
Yeah,
shall see. Hey, I'm
yeah.
rooting for him. He's my guy that I want to win the playoffs. I hope he faces me in the playoffs and he kicks my ass. Because
Because you want to lose.
I want to lose. So that is my desire. So hey, hopefully it happens. Hopefully it matches up like that. So hey, it potentially could. Maybe I'll go that
There's a
slot,
world.
get that 3 slot. There is definitely a world.
There's a
Whoever
world.
honestly faces me, and if I beat them, I'm gonna be so happy. Besides, maybe my brother. Um,
You just got a message, huh? Are they watching us right now?
did I?
You got a
Uh,
second message up there.
I got some
Oh,
trade.
it's a different league. Different league.
All right, let's go. Let's go from here. All right, we're going to your team, Brownie. The potential non-playoff maker here. Um, Start off. This is your team. How we feeling? How we feeling about it?
I feel great. I don't think it's going to be, my wide receivers, my tight end, my quarterbacks are going to be the things carrying me if I make it all the way. I don't think I'm going to get the big boom games out of Joe Mixon anymore because of the Burrow situation. Um, I
Jerome
traded
Ford
a
is
second.
doing something. No, what's he
Yeah,
been
I
doing?
mean, listen, I have enough going on at running back where it won't kill me. Like I'm not going to be hurting at running back. I'm just not thriving at running back. So the ideal world is you're thriving at quarterback, you're thriving at tight end, you're thriving at running back, and then you have 1 to 2 A tier wide receivers and any position flex worthy of 10 points a game. Those are the parameters of I'm ready to with depth, obviously. I'm ready to compete for a chip. And in my opinion, I'm running backs away from that. So, you know, if I get into the playoffs and I get the spike week from Puka, the spike week from Ayuk, the spike week from Smith, the spike week from Olave, at the right time, then yeah, I can beat anybody. But if I don't get those spike weeks from those spiky players, then I don't have the A tier firepower to make it happen. Now, the only thing that you're not seeing, oh wait, am I thinking of the wrong guy?
I think so. You don't really have anyone else. Who are you
Yeah,
thinking of?
no, that's it. I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Never mind. But
This is your starting lineup in the
yeah,
playoffs.
this is it. Yeah,
This is
yeah,
it.
this is it.
This is the squad, which is a good setup. I would say,
Yeah,
this is how you want, and this is very you. Like obviously, I know you, and this is the way you set up your teams. You got your quarterbacks, you got your wide receivers, and then you're slotting in some honestly, and you got some good. These are your 2 good running backs to have.
yeah.
Especially for a squad like this, like Devontae Smith, Ayuk, Chris Olave, Puka, and Deontay. Good wide receiver foundation moving forward, and you continue to kind of build on Jalen Hurts, stud, Kyler Murray. I don't know how I feel about Kyler Murray. I still think he's just like overrated, honestly. I just don't really know. I don't really see of him. I think he's just like a loser. Not like a loser, like he's
Like
like in
his
that way.
personality.
No, no, no. Like he's actually like he doesn't win football games, and that's bad. He is a loser. Like he just does not win. And you need to win football games to be a quarterback in this league, and he just doesn't do that, which is bad. So I don't trust it unless I think he's gotta go. Like I think the Arizona Cardinals need to move on for him, but he just got that huge contract. So I don't know. I
If the Arizona
better
Cardinals don't
fantasy
keep
for
him, if they don't keep him, he's still going to have that huge
I
contract
know,
somewhere.
and no one's gonna want that. So I feel like he's stuck. Like, and this is the worst case scenario for Kyler Murray is if the Cardinals are this crazy to actually draft another quarterback to compete with Kyler Murray and keep both, and Kyler Murray loses out on that QB job, that
But
would
that'll
be
never happen. That'll
absolutely
never happen.
bananas. You don't know
That'll
that.
never happen.
You don't know that.
Somebody will
You
pay
think
for him.
you think with that they're going to have to work in some trade scenario where the Cardinals are playing a significant of that contract.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
only thing
and
that's
they
going to
will
have to
do that.
happen.
They will do that. They will do that. If they get to the point where what do they have right now? Do they have the 102 in the draft?
I can tell you what they have.
I have it. I have it. I have it. Yeah, they have the 102. So if they
Yeah,
remain in the 102, which I don't think they will, I think they're going to win a game or two over the next 5 weeks. I think New England, Washington, Chicago, or the Giants, potentially Tampa Bay, are going to lose more often than not. And I think the Arizona Cardinals will find themselves at 105, 106, 107, 108. That's where I think they're going to end up. And with that being said, they have no choice but to keep Kyler Murray. If somehow they still end up at the 102, if they end up at the 102, they have one of two choices. They
Martin
can move
Harrison Jr.
forward. Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. They either take Marvin Harrison Jr. and just say, "All right, we're here with Kyler, and here's your wide receivers," or there's really three things. They take the wide receiver and move forward with Kyler. They take a new quarterback, trade Kyler, and do whatever they have to do financially to make sure that they do trade him and move on with a new quarterback. And the last thing is they just trade out of the 102. They trade out of the 102 with the Giants or with Chicago or with Tampa Bay or with Vegas, Tennessee, these other New Orleans, these teams that are looking for a quarterback, and they get two first rounders, a first rounder, a second, and a third, a first rounder next year's first, and a second next year. They're going to get a lot of draft capital for it. So
Yeah,
they're in a good position as an organization. They just need to secure an offensive line and get another weapon, whether it's a running back or a wide receiver in this draft class, preferably a wide receiver.
and I don't want that. So I don't like Kyler Murray. I don't like Kyler Murray. So
Listen,
I'm
you
good with
don't have to like Kyler Murray, but you cannot refute all of the positives around him.
I'm not saying, yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy into it. It seems like a risky asset to have. And I don't know.
Hey, wait till 2024.
Yeah, I am gonna wait until 2024. All right, next we're gonna go to this Hammer team. I've been obviously as we're dissecting all these teams, I feel like honestly everybody is missing a little bit of something. So honestly, I feel like
It's a
this is
it's a relatively balanced
I,
league.
I feel like this is anyone's game here. Like I feel like people are like, all right, let's go to Jose's team. Obviously, this is the Hammer team that everybody is afraid of, but this we're all out here trying to be Jose. That is the true truth here. And he's most likely to win the league, which is cool. The draft worked
Yeah.
out well for him. Yeah, he still has all of his draft picks, and like that's like kind of like the beauty of it all.
Yeah.
Um, I think really he has CMC automatic. Keenan Allen been fantastic. Terry McLaurin, okay. Kyron Williams is an absolute league winner. He's insane. I can't believe he came back last week and just threw up. Did he have 3 touchdowns last week? Or was it just two? It was just two.
Two,
Um,
yeah, two.
but 39 points, like who are you? Who is this guy? What are we doing? That is
It's
just
Kyron.
insane. Cooper Cup definitely needs to pick it up a little bit. And, I love how he has the Cooper Cup Stafford stack right there. Those are good. Those are good for some boom weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty much being held up by the Rams in that kind of scenario there. Alvin Kamara has been dying down a little bit, but he's still getting his touches. Losing Mark Andrews definitely sucks. But you traded for Isaiah Likely, hasn't really done anything so far with those reps. Taylor Hudson's not terrible. I picked him up in another league, but you're really looking. Taylor Hudson is touchdown dependent and like receptions dependent. Actually, he's not even touchdown dependent. He's not really a red zone kind of guy. You're really
Yeah,
looking for like what the 2, 3 receptions and like 40 yards essentially. Uh,
yeah.
Boom.
He's
That's
definitely in the market for tight end. I don't know how aggressive he has been in making calls to other people, but he's put it in
Kelsey.
the group.
Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey.
No, if he gets Kelsey, that's overkill. That's over.
But that's the movie's supposed to make. The movie's supposed to make is say, hey, I
That
still
is the
have
movie
my
supposed to make, but is he going to make it? I don't know. I so this is my true critique. I don't think Jose knows how to value first round picks. He sends offers sometimes, and it's just like, let's just figure it out. You got a good squad. Sometimes you just got to be okay and getting rid of your draft assets. I know it's hard, but those are not real people. Just get rid of them and go for the win, man. Like that's what you got to do. And
he's learning. He's
that's
learning.
oh hey, he's learning well. He's literally in first place, so I have no other critiques than that. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with this Raheem Mostert and Devon Achan kind of backfield. I think that's gonna be super interesting for this team.
Raheem and Cooper are the two names that can break this team,
For
in
sure.
my opinion.
But it's a good squad, and like I
It's
think
a great squad.
he
It's a
also
great
has
squad.
people slotted. Amari Cooper, he was trying to get rid of, but I don't know if anyone's really buying that.
Yeah. He
Um,
has Lockett and Cooper. So like let's say Cup does cannot get out of this funk.
Jalen Warren too.
Yeah, that's a startable asset. Like he has startable assets. These are going to be the three major questions for Jose. Does everyone stay healthy? Check. Do you put the right people in the lineup at the right time? Check. If he does that, he's good. And then the last thing is, will your if your spike players continue to spike? So Christian McCaffrey, because of how high he scores, you would say, oh, he's a spike player. No, he just scores high all the time. Keenan Allen is just going to score high all the time. So you're
Look at
riding.
his stats. It's so stupid.
Well,
It's a
look
cheat
at
code.
Dak Prescott. He has
Dak
three. He
Dak is
has three
QB.
athletes.
How's he not QB1 yet? That's the real question. How is he
Yeah,
still
it's amazing.
QB3?
It's because of a bye week and because of the beginning of the season.
Dude,
So
he's insane.
Dak, Christian McCaffrey, and Keenan Allen are going to carry you to the promised land. Will Kyrie Williams continue to spike? Hopefully. Will Matt Stafford give you his above his average for the remainder of the year? That will, if those two things happen, you will win the league.
Tough matchup this
But
today. Tough matchup this today with
yeah,
the Browns though. So who's he
yeah,
facing? Jack. No, Pat.
Patrick.
Pat
Yeah,
Pat
so
Pat's definitely very happy about that. And he's got to
yeah,
hope it's going to be a bad Rams day.
that is the biggest game of the week, Patrick Jose. Because if Patrick takes down Jose, he secures himself a playoff spot basically. And then, like we just said with you next week, if you can make the God bleed, then everyone has hope, right?
Yeah,
So his team is set up perfectly to do the thing.
for
The
sure.
issue is that since the beginning of the year to the end of the year, his team has shown glimpses of weakness, both in the Mark Andrews injury and so you have the Mark Andrews injury, you have the Cooper Cup debacle, and you have the Raheem Mostert, fear of A-Chain taking over the backfield. Those are the three things that will hinder his team and, give somebody an opportunity to sneak a win out in the playoffs. And as we know, it's one and done in the playoffs.
What a great draft pick. 2509 and then 18
Yeah.
18. Like that's that's also, hey, he drafted them, so I'm not going to say it's luck,
He
but like
listen,
you got some luck there.
that is the benefit of drafting a win now team is you're gonna get these amazing values for this year. Here's the question. Does Raheem Mostert retire next year?
I don't
Is
know.
Matthew Stafford retired next year?
There's no talk of that, is there?
No, but he's 31 and he's playing on a great team. What if they win the Super Bowl? I would
Yeah, but
retire.
he doesn't have a lot of sorry, excuse me. He doesn't have a lot of thread on his tires or anything. Like it's not like he's been getting so many carries in his career. Like look at this. Attempts. He's easily under 600 attempts. Like
I guess you could say that. There
so
is that, there is that theory of it's not age, it's usage. And
I
Raheem
it
Mostert
well,
doesn't have a lot of
it's for
usage.
it depends on the person. Like he still looks good, he's got his legs under him. Like I think he's gonna be okay. You know,
You've
I think
just
that hurt.
got, just in general for his team, he's got, Cousins just, crapped out. That hurt his team big time. Matt Stafford is on the way of crapping out. Cooper Kupp, in my opinion, is on the way of crapping out. Keenan Allen is a stud for him this year, but you can only do this 31 years old being number 3 wide receiver for so long. Raheem Mostert, in my opinion, doesn't have a huge future after this year. So, yeah, if he wins the chip, he goes home with that trophy and he's happy about it. And he can
That's
go
it.
into his rebuild phase and he'll be happy. But if he doesn't win the chip, it only gets harder from here on out.
It definitely does, but you gotta think he has like still another year or so. I don't know. He's really
He listen, he
he
could.
he
It's
is
not that he
riding this
can't. It's
he
I'm
is
just
riding
saying
this
every year
climb,
after
but
this is
you're
scary.
right. It is going to be so much harder next season. Like
Yeah.
it's got to be this year or nothing. So
Yeah.
trade those draft
Jose, you got 24 hours, kid. Make some trades.
24 hours. All right. Well, that's basically it. This was good. I feel like we have a lot of people like things are going to change here. I really think the only ones that are really secure is Mike and Jose. Those are they
Yeah.
they got the spots. Obviously, you're kind of like waiting on with your thing with Hangley, so you shall see. Obviously, if you win, you're in.
What
Um,
what I'm lucky about is that Hangley does have a significant amount of his studs on bye week. So it's pretty
who's got Jack next week again? Ben.
Ben. Yeah.
Ben's basically in two then. Like,
Yeah.
say if Ben
It's
loses this week, he's 8-5. Nah, I guess he's not like completely in, but
yeah.
basically.
It's fantasy football, so you never know what's gonna happen. But
I know Jack is
there's
not going to
there's
beat anybody. That's what I know. That's for
there's
sure.
there's about 4 teams that are locked in, but mathematically there's a chance.
This is wild.
It's
I
a
can't
very
believe
competitive league, boys. We did well.
it is. This is
We
good.
did
This is
well.
this is definitely very productive. I think a lot of people, I would say everybody has hope in the future too. Like I really Frankie, my
No
boy,
one's in a
I
bad. No
really
one's
am
in a.
worried about you. I'm worried about you. I can't believe you really scammed this guy with Zach Wilson like that. That's so messed up of you.
Who are you talking to?
Let's just look at him. Now look what you did to his team. I'm worried about him. I'm gonna take him under my wing.
I'm gonna a
Um,
year from now and 2 years from now, I'm gonna say that about you for your
yeah.
brother, and then there's
All
gonna be
right.
some real family
All
problems.
right. Okay. Yeah, until he wins this season because Tony Pollard goes for a 50-point game. That would be wild. I would love that. I
I
would
think
love
this
that
is
for him.
Jose. I think this is Jose's year, man. I mean, if someone can
It
take him
it
down, good
should
for them,
only
but
be Jose's year, but you never know.
you just
It's
don't
that's
know.
literally fantasy football in a nutshell. Uh,
2,000 points in 13 weeks. That's pretty good.
I wonder what the let's this is the last thing. Let's kind of look at pretend things right now. So Jose obviously with the bye, you and Mike are probably fighting for that bye there. So
Oh, I hope Mike wins. I hope Mike
um
wins that. If we stick to where we are right now, I hope Mike wins that matchup. That'd be a good day for me because I know I can take down Mike.
wow.
Oh
See,
wait, that's Ben. Wait, sorry, I was looking at that in reverse. Never mind.
what do you mean? No, you have the bye, and then it would be Ben and Mike. So,
Yeah, I don't know why my brain saw that it was Mike versus Jose, but that's not the case. Yeah, I
yeah.
don't care who wins that game.
Well, that's
I'll
also
beat either one of them.
you're probably going to be in this little smaller quadrant here because you're going to be either
Yes.
2 or 3. So this is
Yeah.
where you're living right here.
Yeah. 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 I hope Patrick beats you, and I hope Patrick
I hope
pulls
if
out the win
that's the
against
only
Jose.
person I want to be in the playoffs. If I go up head to head versus Pat, oh my god, I'm going to crush him. I want to crush him so bad. I really am booting. I have to root against him. I got his pick. He's literally my rival. So
Yeah. Whoever
um
ends up in that bracket against Patrick, just someone's got to take down Jose. I can't. I don't think I can do it, guys.
I don't think anybody's really going to do it. So it'd be pretty devastating if he did not move on to the finals. That would be pretty crazy. Honestly, if he doesn't make the finals, it's literally anybody's game. Like who would you say is the second best team here?
I think it's Patrick.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Probably. Where am I? Where am
I
I?
don't want to. Yeah, I just whoever can. I mean, in all honesty, there's only one other team who can score as much as Jose, and that's Noah. But Noah didn't make the playoffs on a consistent basis. I'm saying like there's only one
I would
team that
say
has
I would say it
shown.
also it also definitely is Patrick.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess
There's
you.
only three. There's only three guys
There.
over what 1750. Patrick's the only one over 1700, and then you know Jose's just in a world of his own.
Yeah,
2050 points. It's just he's in a world of his own. The only thing that's going to derail him is injury. That's really it.
yeah, I would say also, Pat. Gonna be interesting. All
Hmm.
right, boys. Well, that's the fantasy playoff kind of like hunt here. I'm sure we're going to be talking a little bit more next week about like what actually happened this week. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen and kind of project things from there. But last week for honestly, no, like 18 hours for trade. So take this feedback, and
Make
potentially
make it
listen to
happen,
it. You
people.
know, make it maybe
Yeah,
do something with it. So we'll
shoot
see.
for the stars, and you're either shooting for the stars or you're planning for next year.
Yeah, definitely. Sam Howell and Russell Wilson on the block if anyone wants a quarterback. So hey, they're there for you.
Look at you.
Um,
You sound like me.
yeah, I don't want them. I don't have any need for them. I don't want them. So I don't know. Maybe I'll win. Maybe I won't. I'm probably looking like I'm going to win this week. So whatever. We'll see.
Best of luck, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Jason wants to lose, so whoever's going against Jason, beat Jason. I want to win, so Kyle, don't have a freak week. And gentlemen, till next time. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Have a good Sunday. Bye bye.